Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. You might have a couple wander in here. Our speaker this afternoon is Tina Gibbs. Tina was born and raised on the northwest side of Evansville. She's a graduate of Mater Dei High School and Purdue University with a bachelor's degree in interior design. She has always had a passion for the arts and has a passion for helping others maintain a better quality of life. As a member of Art Without Boundaries, she provides rewarding experiences and promotes whole brain communication for individuals with autism, Alzheimer's disease, and many other brain disorders. Please welcome Tina Gibbs.
Hi, everyone. Hope you can hear me all right. What I am a Mneme therapist. And I know a lot of you see the word on there. It's like, how do you pronounce that? Rhymes with Emma, but with an M. Or with an N. And like I was telling you earlier, it's a different way of painting. And what it does is it sends signals to the brain, and it creates neuroplasticity. It creates different connections in the brain. I'm going to show you a short video. Actually, it's about 30 minutes. But Noelle Hammer, she's in the video. She is the one that completely came up with this program. With Art Without Boundaries. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because afterwards I want to do a demonstration and show you the entire process. Okay. See if I can figure this out.
On your screen.
There's nothing on the screen.
Let me pop it out and pop it back in again just to see here.
I hear it.
It's nothing else. I can run out there and get the tech guy. Is there like my computer and then yeah.
Computer?
Yeah. Let's see if the drive comes up. It's just being really, really slow. You might have to go get at the desk, yeah, and just see, because it's just spinning. It's not. It's like the drive won't come up. I'd have to do your demonstration first.
I know, right? That's okay. We can do the demonstration. Okay.
There we go. I think it's just being really slow. Let's do the CD. Yeah.
Well, it's not giving me that option. Shoot. Okay, well, I might just leave that up. Just
Okay,
in case
and then let him come in. Yeah. Because it should just play.
Okay.
From that, but.
Okay. Yeah, just wait. So who would like to be my volunteer?
My energy is really good. Give her the option of like DVD.
Oh, okay.
And disc is in there.
It won't even let you click on it? Okay.
Perfect example of it.
I tell you what, I have found that when you just make up the handout, hand it out, and talk, things go so much better.
I know. Well, just an example of how this process works is I was actually doing a demonstration just like this with a guy at the Kiwanis Club, the Evansville Downtown Kiwanis Club. And he was my guinea pig, and the next day he called me And he said, I know you didn't know this, but I had a heart attack a few years ago, and the heart attack caused a fog in my brain. And he said, ever since then, his thoughts weren't clear. He couldn't, he ran out of energy real fast. Well, he said, he's like, I don't know what you did, but after that day you did the demonstration, the fog is completely gone. So that is my story of a miraculous connection. And he said it's still gone. He said he went to doctors and they couldn't, figure out what he could do to get rid of the fog. But something I did made that new connection in the brain and got rid of that fog. So pretty amazing things do happen during this process. Just that everybody's different, so you don't know what that is going to be. So,
how long has this been around?
About 10 years. Yeah, it took her, the lady that hopefully you're going to see, she started out she was, I think, an executive director in Alzheimer's chapter. And she painted with residents just for fun. And she noticed that there was a particular similarity in the way they painted, in the way they moved their paint. And she just kind of made a mental note. So she started kind of just playing with it and noticed that there were some improvements in during the painting process. She completely developed this entire program. It's called directed painting. And basically, I put the paint on there and I give you the tool, whether it's a brush, a paper towel, a sponge, a stick, a chopstick. I like using chopsticks. And what you would do is you move the paint in a particular direction. And that movement, that tactileness, is what causes the connection in the brain. So in the video, Noelle says, basically our brains are like a superhighway. In Alzheimer's, or any kind of brain injury or disorder, that bridge is blown out. So what this does, it creates a detour around that blown out bridge and creates a new connection. So it's all about trying to figure out that that detour around that blown out bridge. So maybe we can do the demonstration first, because it takes about 30 minutes for a demonstration, and that's about 30 minutes. So come on up. And I'm going to go through it step by step and kind of talk in between and just kind of give you more information.
Hi, I'm Brittany.
Hi. Actually, I'm going to have you sit in the other chair. Sorry. Okay, so when I meet with somebody, and I work with elders, and I also work with kids. I worked with somebody that was 5 years old, actually 4, and all the way to somebody who was 106. Yeah, so everybody asks me, well, how old? I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Age does not matter. So when I meet with somebody, we sit face to face first, and we do, in the beginning, they're called assessment games, and it kind of gives me an idea what things to work on during the painting process, but it also kind of, I tell them, it's kind of like a little exercise for your brain while we do this, because we're making movements and we're also singing. So the first thing we do is we sing and we move. And I have a few songs, but this is my favorite.
Okay.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Wonderful. Then I go right into a high five. Good. You didn't think you were going to be doing this part, did you? Other hand. Good. And the reason why we do the singing and the movement is because anytime you cross that midpoint, you're stimulating the opposite side of the brain. So, your left hand's over here. It's working that side. You're juicing. These are all games that juice your brain. So, and there's other things that we do too that I can't go into all the scientific details about it, but even like just the quick high five, stimulating part of that brain, kind of juicing it up and getting it ready to prepare for the painting. So then we do right and left. Say it with me.
Right.
And I make sure they go all the way across that midpoint.
Left.
And then this also gives me an idea. Do they know their right and left? You know, did they forget their nouns or, yeah. So then I say, we're going to tap your lap and count to 10. And then I bring the arms up here. And it's got a crisscross.
Okay.
1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
yes. Now, somebody with proprioceptive dysfunction, which is basically you're missing your body map. You don't know where your body is in space. Sometimes they won't be able to bring their arm back up. Sometimes they won't be able to find their lap. So that kind of gives me an idea, again, how to work with them with the painting. Also, it's very important, there's a lot of sensors in your hand for the palm to hit the knee, to send those signals to the brain. Okay? And then I make them count backwards, 10, 9, 8, just, if they did okay the first round, I kind of challenge them a little bit and make them count backwards. And then they freak out, they're like, oh, I don't know if I can count backwards, but they end up doing fine. So then the last game, I say it's a silly game, my kids love it. We're going to turn my fingers into a butterfly, and I want you to catch my butterfly with your right hand. Yes, catch it with your left. Catch it with your left. And you're supposed to actually do that, because that stimulates the amygdala in the brain. And then catch it with your right. All of this exercise shows me if they can see, if they have cuts in their vision, or if, the peripheral vision is damaged. So those are the 4 actual things, counting the singing, that are very important. And whenever, say they had a hard time tapping their lap, I repeat it at the end to see if there was any improvement. I work with a little boy, he's 10, and he has a sensory processing disorder. And in the beginning, he was all over the place. He could, he could not tap his lap. And I worked with him for about probably 3 months. I started noticing an improvement. And now he is just all like this. And his mom told me probably 6 months after I was painting with him, she said, I don't know what happened, but she said, he just started skipping out of the blue. And that proves to me that the brain is finally balancing. You have to have that balance. And she said he's never been able to do that.
I still can't skip.
Start painting.
Maybe I can correct that. No. And then another little girl that I work with, she started doing jumping jacks for the first time. She's 12. So, okay, then the other important thing that I do is, this picture, I don't know if y'all can see that, is very important. This tells me if they have beginning stages of visual agnosia. Basically, their vision is not communicating with their brain. Or it will tell me if they just lost their nouns. if they forgot what it's called. So some people will look at this picture and they will be like, oh, that's a lady's leg. She better put some clothes on. And then it's like a storm coming. And then I get a boot. This looks like a boot, which I can see some of it too. But what the left side of the brain does is it picks apart the little pieces instead of the right brain sees the whole picture, okay? So if they start picking it apart, my next test is, okay, well, let me flip it over for you. Can you tell me what that's a picture of? And they're like, oh, they're either going to do A, oh, that's a vase with flowers. They're beautiful. Or they're going to talk in circles. They're still not going to be able to tell me that this is a flower in a vase, which tells me, and I make sure I go in here and I say, okay, I have a picture of flowers. Can you point to the picture of the flowers? And if they go boom, then I know they're losing their nouns. They forgot the word. They just forgot what it's called. So I know that the vision is probably still good. It's just they forgot their words, the left part of the brain. So, and then I also repeat that and the best part is when we get done, and I show them this picture, and they couldn't see it before, and they're like, oh, that's a flower and some vase, or those are some flowers in a vase. I'm like, yes, we made that connection. Not everybody, but most people can see. Sometimes I will force a connection. Whenever you look, those pictures on the wall that you look at, they're like pixely, and then you like stare, like, what is that? And then all of a sudden, boom, your brain kicks in. It's kind of the same thing a little bit, but I take their finger and I trace around. I say, follow your finger. And I trace around that whole, several times, and I just tell them to follow the finger, and then I come back over here and I do the same thing in the same direction. And I trace it over and over, and it is amazing when they say, oh, there it is, they're flowers. So it's just so gratifying.
Do you ever have people that just won't have anything to do with painting and stuff like that?
Yes, and then I just have them send me someone else, because it's not going to benefit them if they don't want to do it, and it's, not going to be easy for me either. But sometimes I'm pretty good at talking them into it. So it's, let me just scoot this back a little bit more. Is it my desk, you think?
Be the computer.
Okay. All right. So I have, I think 9 pictures in here. I'm just going to flip through quickly. I let the artist pick their own picture to give them control. I'm just going to flip through a couple of these. I change these out all the time. So if I'm at a healthcare facility on a regular basis, I keep a new list of pictures. So I'm going to have you look through that and pick out your favorite picture. And I also kind of watch them to see how they look. Sometimes they'll only look at one side, and so I just kind of observe at this point. Okay, that's my favorite one. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to show everybody. All right, now just slip it up here. Here's what she picked. And sometimes people get intimidated. They're like, I cannot paint that. And I'm telling you, these paintings take like 10 minutes to do. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I noticed your colors are all seem to be a little muted in blues and soft greens, and all either except for the lamb, all mostly. Is there a particular reason, or is it just what you like?
Yeah, I mean, they always change. It could be just what I felt like putting in today. Yeah, I mean, no, there's no rhyme or reason for it. Just, and, the pictures don't really turn out as good when I print them out, But whenever they get done painting, they turn out amazing. And it's the best part of this is because in the beginning, they don't think they can do it. Whenever at the end, the look on their face after they get done is just priceless because, their self-confidence and quality of life has just improved tenfold.
My head is bigger than that.
Oh, sorry. That's why there's a snap. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to let's just set that right there, and I'm going to have you come in front of this. I might scoot this back so he can work. I'm going to have you come on this side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to sit, and then I'll hold it up during the stages. We do the background first. There's basically only 3 stages. Background, midground, foreground. Very simple 3 steps. So, okay. And then, this is awful narrow table.
Do it.
Yes, I don't want to spill anything, so I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to grab my pen up here. So like I said, instead of dipping your brush in the painting, I'm going to make a mess first and put it on the paper. And it's so funny whenever the expressions I get, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. What are you doing? And I tell them it's kind of like a cooking class. I'm going to give you the ingredients and the recipe, and then I'm just going to, you're going to cook it. You're going to make this creative painting. So, and it's amazing too that every painting turns out different because the paint is put on the paper differently. It's almost, and I've actually done some painting classes with typical people because it's very, it clears your mind. It's almost like meditation. It clears your mind, and it almost gets rid of that fear you have inside of like messing up. You cannot mess this kind of painting up. That's why this process is used. So don't be afraid. You're good.
Slightly nervous, yes.
No. All right. So when I get done putting the paint on, I'm going to lift it up. And show everyone what a mess we made. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of pink in here too. Okay, so here is our mess. Okay, and let me give you your tool, which is a mop brush, aka makeup brush. Yeah, nothing spectacular. So, and I show them, I'm going to get the brush loaded for you. You're going to take this brush all the way to the right. You're going to move that paint all the way to the right. You're going to lift it up, lay it down, and come all the way back to the left. I'm going to get your brush wet a little bit. And just watch the paint move. Watch the paint form into...
About the painting. It is about doing the painting.
Okay, well, we just jumped to the front part first. And then you're going to go back and forth all the way down. Yes. Go all the way to the right, lift it up, lay it down, and come all the way back to the left. Yep. How does it feel?
I like it.
Feels good. I know it helped me with my fear of messing up. When I was trying to train myself and teach myself how to do this, I was just like, ah!
My supervisor's here. She knows I'm a perfectionist.
Oh, it helps with perfection too, because this can't be perfect either, because it's more of an impressionist way of painting. So there's the background. 30 seconds, maybe?
I need to go home for it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
And then whenever I do my paint parties, I like to have fun with it, and I let you use your fingers to kind of get into the paint. So if you want to do that, you can. So, and for timing purposes, I'm gonna give you. Okay. So the next step, and I can make this as long as I want, or as short as I want. Where's my, okay. So mid-ground. Okay. Put in some dark green. This is our little island. We're making a little island way back in there, or the little peninsula, whatever you want it to be. And it's wonderful too, because you may see it different than somebody else whenever it's done. And also, sometimes those little mistakes you thought was a mistake could turn out to be something wonderful. I was working with this client, and a drop of paint fell onto the painting, and they were so upset. And I was like, well, let's just leave it there for now and see what happens. Well, when the painting got done, it was the perfect bird in the sky. Perfect. I mean, you couldn't have painted it more perfect. So you're going to take this brush, and you're going to just bounce on top of this paint, and you're going to move the colors together. And you don't want to bounce too many times in the same spot, or your paint will get muddy. It's okay if your paint gets muddy, because you just add more paint on top of it. Yeah, and just keep hopping over to your right, and bring in that dark green, or the black it looks, into the light green. Yeah, you can turn it, play with it. Just see what happens. Kind of gives it that shadow. Yeah. And then sometimes, depending on, yeah, that looks good. I usually tell kids, soft bounces, pretend your hand is as light as a feather. And then sometimes I'll say hard bounces if they have proprioception or any kind of hard time. Okay, so here's our island. The faces. I mean, simple. Okay, so let's do the middle one. Same thing. I feel like I'm getting paint all over my face, which is, usually happens. I'll go home and I'll be like, oh my gosh, nobody told me I had paint all over my face. All right. Just add some paint. We're going to do the same thing with this green. And it's best, you're basically taking the tool, you're picking up one color and moving it into another color. I tell them, yes, hop around, because you want to just kind of move it. That's what creates. And you could turn the brush vertical to get the trees, yep. And nice slow bounces. Yeah, slow bounces. And you want to lift, and just lift up the brush. Don't let the bristles drag. Just lift up the brush and just see how the colors move together. This is more of kind of like more of an impressionist way of painting, not more realistic, which is easier for me because I can be a perfectionist. It's my downfall, and this is way better for my disease.
Your uniqueness.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. I can't imagine how. Just make sure you just get on those big blobs. Yeah, good. Yeah, right there. And then one right there. Perfect. And I need to make sure you go all the way to the edge of the tape, because whenever the painting is dry, you peel away the tape, and then it's a piece of paper, 12 by 12, that can get framed, and they look amazing in frames. I mean, yeah, perfect. One of my girls, my 12-year-old that can now do jumping jacks, she had her painting in an auction. It sold for over $400.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
We're open for bids.
Yeah. Are you sure about that? You may not want to give it away. All right, so let's show this stage. The other island. And now let's do the last step, which is the grass that's up front in the foreground. And what you're going to do is, I'm going to give you, I'm first going to give you a detail brush, a teeny tiny detail brush, and have you hold back. And what I experienced just by accident, I'm going to have you hold it with your left hand. So now you're engaging your right side of your brain. Actually, let's start. I'm going to show everybody. Start with your right hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull this paint up. Yes. Yeah, just like that.
And now I need to do it with my left.
Go all the way across with your right. And some can be tall. I mean, this grass doesn't get mowed. So, just let it form. Oh, that's okay. You could put a tall grass there. Yeah. See, don't get upset with the little mistakes. And you want to go up high enough because the edge of the tape is right there.
Oh.
Okay. There you go. Good. And, actually, you're probably not going to be a good example to show the difference between the right and the left, but just keep going. Some people that I work with, you're just actually a really good painter.
Well, thanks.
Just not a good example. But sometimes when you use your right hand, people want the grass to be perfectly straight. They're not fluid enough with their right. They're too perfect with their right. So when I make them use their left hand, not only to engage the right side of the brain, but also to make the grass look more organic. The grass isn't, and it does. It just looks so much more organic whenever they use the left hand, the left side of the brain.
I like this. I've never painted with my left hand before.
Yeah, and it feels different.
Yeah.
I mean, you could feel it in your body differently. And you can see it does look a little more, organic. You're going in different directions. You're not going straight up. So I'm going to switch you. I also try to use a stick because it's not only gives it texture, and not only does it pull the paint away, and you can kind of see the background, but it also gives that tactileness of scraping. It sends that signal to the brain. So try that.
Same thing.
Yep, right or left or both. See, it kind of pulls up that very fine. Just gives it a different kind of texture. It doesn't pull, it doesn't carry the paint as long, but it kind of just gives it more of like a grass that's in the distance or. Good. And also the other important part is knowing when to stop. I have this problem. I want to keep going. I'm like, oh, darn it, I should have stopped while I was. And you want this brush again?
Can make that connect.
Or put some taller ones, yeah. Yeah. So it's not standing alone.
Do you have a studio?
I just use my house. Yeah, I have some clients come to my house, and sometimes the children I work with that have autism, they do better in their own environment, so I can also go to them. I just take my little cart and go to them.
One-on-one?
One-on-one. But I have done groups before. Yeah, it is fun. It is, yeah. It's a hoot. And it's just fun to watch everybody's different expression, And with the groups of people, I let them put their own paint on the paper. Yeah, that's really fun. Yeah. All right, so let me show this. Now, do you want flowers?
Sure.
Okay. All right, let's do flowers. All right. Here's your colors, and here's your chopstick. You're going to dip your chopstick in a color.
I paint it all.
No, you don't need to. Nope. Yeah, dip it in a color and bounce where you want flowers. Just pop around until you see no more paint. Keep bouncing. Same stick. Because the ones that are, when the paint is starting to come off of that, it almost looks like it's peeking behind the grass.
Oh.
They're not the ones that are right up front. Yeah. And then the other thing, like whenever they're completely done, the other important thing is to tell a story. So there's singing and movement, directed painting, storytelling, and praise. All those aspects create this rewarding experience. So when we're done with the painting, I usually, oh, what does this remind you of? And then, they'll be like, oh, it reminds me of back home, or when I went fishing with my son, or, it just kind of brings back those memories that are, in the dusty areas of your brain. So then, after the story, I have them name the painting. There's 3 things that make the painting more valuable: the title, the signature, and the date. So we put that all on a piece of tape. So when the painting is dry, and they take off that piece of paper, they can take that tape and put it on the back of the painting. And then they could sign, when it's dry, they could sign the, gosh, artist. My goodness. Yeah, it looks awesome. Keep going. I'm going to start the video. Is it working? Keep going, and then we can show them the final. So this is Noelle. You might not be able to see the whole thing. But you'll get the gist. Thank you.
It is not about the painting. It is about doing the painting, the process of doing the painting. That's the important thing.
I'm
pleased. Bowled over. You know, I think you've got something excellent here. You have come in and been able to establish rapport and elicit these things that we potentially thought they were not capable of doing.
I'm moving on.
That's all right. You are doing very well. Very well. Excellent. All right. Good job. Good job. All right. We've got a beautiful sky and we've got our beautiful green down there. And I know a song that you might know. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Sing it with me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me.
No, 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 don't sit under the
apple
tree
with anyone else but me till I come marching home. Oh, like to you, I like that better. All right. Mnemetherapy is all about getting information from the brain and then giving information to the brain. It isn't art therapy, it's a multimodality therapy. In other words, we're using lots of different things and lots of different ways to get information from the brain. We use singing and movement, arm movement. All game, take me out with the crowd. We use a process called directed painting. We use storytelling and we use praise from peers. Let's give our Margie a big round of applause. Those are the 5 aspects of mnemetherapy.
Noelle is a wonderful woman and her skills and techniques working with the population of disabilities is just phenomenal and amazing.
Okay. The difference that we're seeing with Florence is astounding. Absolutely astounding. So, and just absolutely, she just loves Noelle, and Noelle makes it so much fun. And you see, she's goofy and she's silly. And
What do you think about her?
well, I don't know her that well.
Way to endorse the teacher.
Noelle makes it so comfortable for them. So comfortable. And I've seen it with everybody. Gene, who comes after us, he didn't know our name. He didn't know anything about us. He was pretty angry and pretty, shut down. And now he walks in, hi, ladies, how are you? And they hug each other. And it's amazing what she's doing.
It's tear-jerking to just see a patient, a client, a student who has no range of motion or is all over the place, and for her to just sit down and work with the child or an adult and then have them create a masterpiece is just mind-blowing.
I've been working with Bernie probably about 6 months, but in a daycare situation, maybe I don't get to work with him every single month. The name of the hand when we hit it. You ready?
Ready.
Right and left and
Right.
and left and right and left. Excellent. Excellent. Good. Now we're going to tap your lap and count to 10.
Okay.
All right, here you go. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here we go.
That was great. Bernie was completely missing his body map. When we would do that game, did you see him whack his lap? I was so pleased with that because when we first started doing that, he was completely missing his lap altogether, and he was tapping my lap. So we spent a lot of time trying to educate the brain the difference between his hand and my hand. I would put them both out together, and I would say, Bernie, touch your hand and he would touch my hand. So he wasn't seeing the difference between, the two hands. And so we spent time outlining our hands and outlining the outside of the picture and trying to retrain the brain to see borders and boundaries. Bernie, we're going to play a silly little game, but what it does is it tests your vision. See if you're seeing all the way around.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn my fingers into a butterfly. Can you see my butterfly?
Yeah.
Good. Let me see if you can catch it with your right hand.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
Catch it with your left hand. With your left hand
It's
this
my
time.
right hand.
Yeah. All right. Let's put them both down.
Okay.
All right. Ready. Catch it with your left hand.
Okay.
Good. All right. Now catch it with your left hand. Oh, excellent. Catch it with your right hand.
Yeah.
You got it. You
Okay.
got it. Good job. At the beginning of the session, I said, what do you see in this picture? And we use this picture. Everybody has to keep this picture in their book because it has some really great stuff in it. It's got this dark place, and a lot of times people will say, well, it's a lady. And she's wearing heels, say, or it's a foot, or it's a leg, or they will see owls and different things in the picture. And so then that tells us they're not seeing the way we see. Ask you, what do you see in that picture, Bernie?
It's a beautiful place.
It is.
It always comes here.
I know,
They
but what is it?
It's it's like a place to go.
Okay, well, what are these?
These are fire people.
They're fire people.
They're fire people, and
Okay.
they're trying to come in here and get a place to live.
Okay, so I've got a picture of the sea, and I've got a picture of flowers. Can you tell which one is the picture of the sea, of the ocean? Can you point to the one that's the ocean?
Well, you could have stopped this and could have had the ocean. You could
Okay.
have had the regular ocean, and
Okay.
over here you could have done something else.
All right.
I don't want them to lose their sight
Okay.
to get it, but
And
that's
so I've got the same thing in this one. I've got a picture of the ocean, and I've got a picture of the flowers. Can you point to the flowers for me, Bernie? Okay, there's the flowers. Good. All right. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big flowers. Can you count those flowers, Bernie? Can you point to the flowers and count them?
okay. Let me
All right,
take
count
that.
them
Okay.
for me.
Count these.
Yeah, count them.
Okay.
Point to 'em.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I can go down
Okay.
this way. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
All right, great. Okay, Bernie, why don't you take a look at those and just tell me which one you like the best.
Okay.
Okay, you just pick out the picture you like the best.
Okay.
You can start from the beginning.
This is the beginning. This is
That's
the
the
flower.
beginning.
That's the flowers. They were very good. Excellent. Very good. This was very good.
Mhm.
They were very good. And I don't even know where they are. I would like to think that I hope that they're still here.
Okay, well, you just pick out the one you like the best.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
just pick out one of them.
Okay.
And that's the one we're going to do for your wife.
Okay. And this is the other one
Mhm.
that they wanted to see.
Okay.
And
Whichever one, you don't have to tell me anymore. You don't have to explain them.
Okay.
Just pick out the one you like the best.
well, this was, as far as I was concerned, this was 1 and 2 to me, or 2 and 1. That
Okay.
were best.
Do you like that one?
I do.
All right,
I really do.
let's take that one out.
Okay.
And we'll put it right here. All of us have experienced that thing where we're looking at those optical illusions and we see it one way and then all of a sudden we see it another way. The brain can adjust that way. And if there's damage, it can make that adjustment. And a lot of times, I'll show somebody this picture and they'll say that it's something else or they can't tell what it is. And we're finished with the whole session and they say, oh, that's flowers in a vase. Sometimes it takes longer. Every brain is different. All right, which one do you want to do today?
Fall.
Yeah, that would be like fall. Very good.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to get in that in a minute. Right now we're going to pick out the one that you like the best.
Right here.
You like that one? Several of the nursing homes I was in, I would look up and I would see this lady at the door. Hello. She'd wave at me, I'd wave at her, and, okay, hi. And then I would be in another place, and there she would be at the door again. And I'd wave at her, she'd wave at me.
Well, my name is Jane Fortinsky. I'm a podiatrist, and I go to assisted living facilities to take care of the residents. And I I was at a facility one day, and Noelle was there working with clients, and I said, let me ask her. And I said, have you ever worked with autistic children?
And I said, no, but I'd love to. And she said that she had a daughter who was autistic. She was 10 years old. She was considered nonverbal. And so we set it up for her to come to my home. And she brought this adorable little redhead to my house. And she immediately ran over to our fish tank and dumped in the whole thing of fish food. And I said, oh dear. And so we got her seated at the table, and she grabbed the paints and went running through my house with the paints, and it was quite an event. We call those now a wild child, but getting her to sit down, getting her to follow any kind of direction was just next to impossible. And I said to myself, I'm never going to see these people again. We did, however, make it all the way through the painting, and she did leave with a painting, and I thought, okay, that's it for autism. But I got a call the next week from her mother about Wednesday, and she said, I can hardly believe this, but Kara just said 2 5-word sentences.
I guess it was on Wednesday. I had called Noelle because Kara had put together 2 5-word sentences, which was amazing to us because she had never done that before. It was always one word here or there.
What was remarkable is just to see that little girl blossom and bloom. And I think it was about the 3rd session, she walked out of the house and said, "Look, Mommy, a frog." And that little sentence right there doesn't mean much to us. But, if you have a kid who has joint attention dysfunction, who has never before in their life pointed something out and said, "Look, Mommy," her mother just stood there kind of speechless.
They're so focused on their own thing that they never call somebody else necessarily in to focus on it. So it was amazing, and we went back and we found that Kara would start sitting for longer periods of time, and Noelle got her to request things and request paints and have an opinion about what she wanted to do. So it was just an amazing experience.
I worked with her for 8 months, and we ended up with a child who then could, go into a regular classroom and sit down and learn and communicate. And I asked the teachers, I said, "Did you know that Kara was nonverbal when I got her?" And they said, "We can't get her to shut up." Kara is so important to us. She's a celebrity in our association because, if we can change the direction of a person's life and allow someone who has never been able to say a sentence to communicate, to be able to look around and understand the relationship between her and her family, that she's got a parent, to understand those things and to be able to experience the world. And that's something that's worth investing your life in. All right, let me get this going, see if we got the right color here. And then, Bernie, when you get the paintbrush, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go all the way over to the right, flip it, and then back to the left. Yeah, you got it. So, all right, are you going to use your right hand or your left hand?
Left hand.
Okay. All right. Okay, but that's your right hand.
Yeah, I'm left.
Okay, would you rather use your left hand?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, let's get this pulled up again.
Okay.
And let's start right here. And all the way over. And flip it. And all the way back. Beautiful. That is the giving information to the brain by doing that directed painting. We're telling them straight. We're telling them up. We're doing directional orientation. We are literally using that big fat brush that we use to tactily give information to the brain. And in the same time, as they're painting, and they go over the edge and over the edge of the thing and onto the tablecloth, we're getting some information from them. They don't see the borders anymore, and when they push that brush up and it goes into this little curl, or when they go up, or when they loop, or when they go over and lift it. There's lots and lots of stuff that we're watching for that gives us information of what's going on. And just follow that line. Follow the line right straight over. Okay. And then flip it, follow that line right straight back. All right, that's nice and straight. We should hold that still. Okay, here we go. All the way over. Good. And all the way back. Wonderful. And I'll put some of that. Now let's use this one for that. Okay, go ahead and grab that, Bernie. Good. That was with your left hand. And the trick of this is to tilt it backwards like this. Yeah, so we're just going to go right straight up, 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 up. Good. All right, excellent. And then we're going to go up and out. Good. And then we're going to go up and out. Very good. Excellent. And let's do it one more time. Up and out. And let's run through that white just a little bit. Up and out. Very nice. Now, let's take a look, Bernie. We've got our background. We got our background. We've got a tabletop. And we've got our shadow. Okay, we've got our vase. What don't we have? Look over at your picture and tell me what we don't have.
Well, we have
What
this.
don't we have? Yeah, there's something we don't have yet. Yeah, look at what we have, and look at that. What don't we have?
So, and a lot of it, I went
Can you
ahead
tell me what we don't have yet that we need to put on there?
Something like this we don't have.
Does
Okay.
anybody
What's that?
And
have
that's
any
a flower.
questions?
White flowers.
That's right. They're white flowers. Good for you. So we're gonna make a nice big one right there.
Like at my house,
Make a
5
nice big
remotes
one
for
right
like
there. Gonna
2
do one right
things.
there. Maybe a little one right here. Maybe a little one out there.
So
Okay.
yes, I do have brochures with more information if anybody is
We're going to use
interested.
this one.
You're
Go ahead and
welcome.
grab that. Good. That
And
was with
there
your left
is a
hand.
reason
Okay, here's
why.
what we're going to do is we're going to reach all the way up here, and we are just going to touch it very gently, up and down, just as gentle as you can.
I'm gonna look
Be
up the
very
final
gentle
result
with these
here.
flowers, up and down. Good. All right. And touch. Very nice. And then right here.
And then pray.
Stroke it. Just touching it. All right.
Beautiful.
Here we go. Let's do that last
Beautiful.
one.
What-
And then just touch it.
Day at Mneme Pond.
Touch it. How do you spell your
I
name?
love it. I love it. So yes, for
I need
pizza
your
box, it's going to take a long time for this to dry.
Your
But
first
the
name.
purpose of the
First
pizza
name.
box is to keep it protected.
That's your last name.
And it's a
Yeah, so
healthcare. I
spell
can't
your
take
first
credit for
name.
that, but. And then, you know, when I work at
That would
the
be
health
fine.
campuses, you know, I work with up to 4 people at a time. They just stack the paintings on top of each other and just stick it somewhere so they can dry.
How about let's just go Bernie? I can spell that. There we go. All right. By Bernie. Okay, now, Bernie, what did we do
I
a
am
painting
there for
of?
2 hours and I can
What's in that painting right over there?
Same thing.
It is the same thing. You're absolutely right. So what are those
How
things?
quick the person is. On an average.
Well, this is paint, but we made them into something.
And it also
So what
depends
are
on how
they?
quickly
Those
they
big
can
white
get
things.
new people, you know, in between. So
They are
2
paintings.
hours.
They will come down and then they'll come back again.
But they are a painting of what? They're a painting of something.
That's what
And you painted that.
I have
You
gone.
painted that same thing. A vase of what?
the base of this.
Yeah, and that's a vase of what?
Okay, that's what they do, right in here.
It's a vase of flowers.
Flowers.
That's right. Yeah. So who likes flowers at your house?
Somebody did.
Does your wife like flowers? Okay.
And she likes to pick them.
All right. And so, what nice, lovely thing would you like to say to your wife if you were giving her a vase of flowers? If you were writing out a card, what lovely thing would you like to say to her?
Now till the end of the year.
Till the end of the year.
That's how good she is.
That started out being very romantic, Bernie.
At Purdue.
How about now until
And then
Okay. I love you
my
now and forever.
life path took
that
a
would be a
complete
beautiful
change,
thing
and
to
I
say
was a
to your
mortgage
wife.
mortgage
I
loan
love
officer for 10 years.
Now
And I knew I didn't want to keep doing that, so I just
forever.
prayed, and then
Wow.
this found me.
All right, let's turn it around so our
found me
studio
2 years
audience can see this beautiful
So I've been
painting. Is that gorgeous or what? And romantic? I love
Yes,
you
like a
now
river point.
and
Every other Tuesday.
forever.
What do you think your wife is going to say when she sees this?
She's gonna fall down and go to sleep. That's right.
Yes.
Gonna go to
Yeah,
sleep.
it's a pretty powerful
Bernie, do you want to
process.
pull that sleeve down now? Okay, can you find your sleeve and pull it down? All right, this one is already down, but this one is up. So, yeah, find your sleeve and pull it down. Very good. Excellent. All right, now they're even. Now they're the same. Okay, and now I want you to take that off. Because he was willing to try, he did this amazing painting. Look at that. Let's give him a big round of applause for a beautiful job. Yay, you take the bow, Bernie. You take the bow. All right. Isn't that beautiful? Now, here's the big story. Listen to this title. I love you now and forever. Oh, thank you.
I just kind of go with my intuition. Sometimes I'll be like, kind of like the butterfly game. I'm like, all right, this is a silly game, but there's a purpose. You know, let's pretend my hands above. You know, I just kind of go where they are.
Okay, that's on top. Okay, all right, so this is your left hand, that's your right hand. Now it's on top of it. Right, okay.
So that means I have to get another situation
Yeah.
to
We're back to situations.
That's right. That's the way it's supposed to
Okay,
be.
let's try your left hand on top of your right hand.
Your right hand
It's right here. It's always there.
Yeah.
always good.
Well,
It is good.
And the other part that
some of the
sees
others,
is
I look at the
sometimes
brain
it's
as a
brain.
big
You can't take
superhighway,
it personally,
and with Alzheimer's
that
patients,
frontal lobe
everything
sometimes
is still there.
The more difficult
it's just
to-
the bridges are blown out.
to-
And so what I feel is happening is that the brain is finding new
So
pathways
thank you guys.
around
I know time is up.
the whole concept and the whole
But yes,
science of neuroplasticity.
Feel free to
the
take
definition of
information.
it is
Thank
that
you
the
so
brain
much
is
for
capable
being
of making changes. It's capable of moving one function from one place to the other.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to make a butterfly, and you're going to be the catcher.
It was wonderful.
Okay, and you're going to catch my butterfly. Can you see it? Yes. Catch it with your right hand. Catch it.
Okay.
And yeah, I need you to catch it.
Have a great day.
Catch it. Yeah, catch it with your right hand. All right, now catch it with your left hand. Catch it with your left hand. All right, well, I'm going to be the butterfly, you're going to be the net, and I want you to
DVD
catch
somewhere
my
else?
butterfly.
Down here. Probably. Yeah, you can switch
this
to
one? I was like, oh, it's not in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
since he couldn't get
Got it, yes.
this one to work,
Awesome.
yeah. I could see him fooling around with
Yeah.
something in there. So. Yeah, I mean, I have no artistic ability at all, so to watch somebody be able to do that is just really neat. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I just prayed. I'm like, I know I want to do something. I want to get back into art, and I want to help people.
That's
And it just
beautiful.
came
Perfect
to me.
combination. That's
Yeah.
right.
It's so encouraging.
It
It's
is,
like,
I know.
your passion. It's your passion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
I'm
just
You're
saying.
right.
450.
I was like, it's going to you're like,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
Nice to meet you. You too.